Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week I explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And today I am talking about some really simple ways that you can go from being overwhelmed to confident, especially now that the holidays are finally in high gear. They are on, okay? So if you've been feeling pressure or overwhelm, maybe to wrap projects at work or meet the demands of your friends, your family, you're feeling that you have to organize and attend all these parties with enthusiasm and smile your face off, right? You want to keep financial pressures to a minimum. You want to set yourself up for a great new year and so much more. And you might be saying to yourself, this is a lot. Well, yeah, it is. And when you look back, you might wonder why you're stressed. If that seems like this is your world, this is for you. Because today I'm going to share with you six simple steps that you can apply to go from that state of being overwhelmed to confident, to being at ease, and to just having everything work out for you. So I know that some of you know me and some of you don't. If you don't know me, if you're new here, I'm Larissa McCouch. I am a master results coach and CEO of Abundance Academy, where we help entrepreneurs, educators, managers, coaches, and consultants, true professionals whose external results tell the world they're successful, but on the inside, they know they're destined for more. I help them overcome stress, overwhelm, anxiety, imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, you name it, and truly go after their dreams so they can love themselves, love their business, and love their life once again. So I would love to know where you are coming in from. And if you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. If it is your first time here, type in first time in the chat. And I truly thank you and I truly appreciate you for being here. So when it comes to things like the holidays, I remember when I was much younger, I used to love this idea of Christmas. And I'd watch these movies over the holidays because, I mean, the Christmas movies are phenomenal. Even the ones from back in the day, some of them I'd watched over and over and over again. And I create this romanticized idea of what Christmas was and what it was supposed to be. Just everyone hugging, everyone happy, everyone smiling, perfect presents under the tree that would just light you up like a Christmas tree. And in our family, we had some really beautiful rituals. We had generally a pretty good time. However, there were moments I remember leaving so disappointed, and I remember feeling so pressured, especially when it came to buying presents. Okay. That was probably the worst part about Christmas for me, is the need to buy presents. And I remember I wanted to get people presents that would truly light them up, and feeling like I had to find the right thing for the right person at the right time. I'm the kind of person that if I see something, I want to get it for that person anytime. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or a birthday. But that pressure of feeling like I needed to do that created a dis-ease in me. My stomach would start to turn, my heart would start to race as I'd go into the mall trying to chase the perfect present down for everyone, with everyone else around, and race them for it. I would spend a lot of my money, probably like all my money every Christmas, to buy gifts for other people and maybe get something for myself. And when I look back on it, it really wasn't what brought me the greatest joy. And I created this stress. I created this overwhelm for myself, trying to be all things for everyone and make everything perfect for those around me. And just with Black Friday and Thanksgiving Day, American Thanksgiving is over. Black Friday, the shopping weekend was huge over the last few days, and it still continues. However, this is really when things start to ramp up. And I think as we get into Christmas, so why am I sharing all this with you? As we get into the Christmas and the holiday and the New Year's season, we all have different relationships with things, but I think this is one time those of us that have really high standards, that want to have beautiful moments, that want to really connect with people, that want to light other people up, that want to create magic moments for ourselves and for others. we sometimes put on the pressure and we start to look at too many things all at once. And whether it's the holiday season or if you're watching this at another time out of the holidays, anytime you get into a state of overwhelm, you almost feel like you're in a pressure cooker. The pressure builds, and you just don't know how to let it out until it goes poof. And we don't want to let it get to that. So often, when we're in this state of overwhelm, we're looking at so many pieces of the puzzle all at once, and we can't see the forest through the trees. And so, I have some solutions for you, because I think when you really step into a new way of thinking, a new way of looking, you can release some of that pressure. You can find really beautiful ways to show up in your life, to show up for yourself, to show up for others, that are simple and in a way that really do serve you, in a way where you can get the things done that you most need to do. Okay? So, when it comes to this idea of overwhelm, right? I want you to ask yourself, like, do you want to stay in the state of overwhelm, or do you want to feel more peace, more joy, more calm, more ease in your life? Do you want to hear yourself having more meaningful conversations with the people around you, and have them perhaps even be more agreeable, get along better, have things work out with the people in your world? And would you like to see more order in your life and things just working out for you more of the time? Because that's really what we're talking about today. Six simple ways you can go from that state of being overwhelmed to being truly confident in yourself, in your skin, in your world, especially in times of high stress. So, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, okay, when it comes to the definition of overwhelm, and I think this is a really powerful definition, and it really does state a lot. The definition of overwhelm is being buried or drowning beneath a huge mass. It's essentially being covered or submerged. If you think of a flood, right? A flood covers or submerges the land or the people. And when you're in the state of being covered or submerged, you can't come up for air. And it can feel that way. It's not the reality. Sometimes it does feel like that. It's being overpowered by a superior force, maybe in numbers or in strength, and even overpowered in thought or feeling. And so it's almost like these thoughts, these feelings, these stories, these to-do lists, these expectations, they bury us and they drown us. And when you really look at what confidence is something, it's a state where you are full of conviction. Okay, you have faith, you have belief, you are working towards something. You have a sense of sureness, being self-assured, self-assurance and self-reliance. Now, when you have this self assurance and you are able to be self reliant, then it doesn't mean you're independent. It does mean you know where you stand and you are swimming above the water, right? My son loves to move around. It's like swimming. He does tiger arms and water babies. Okay, you got to move the arms over. And when you're swimming above the water, you have more choice. You can dive deep underwater. You can come up for air. You can do a front stroke. You could do a backstroke. You could do a breaststroke. You could do the butterfly. You could just tread water and hang out in one spot, looking around, whatever it is. But essentially, confidence is like treading water. And I use this image of overwhelm being like you're looking at so many things, and I think of it as a jigsaw puzzle, right? This idea of being covered or even looking at too many pieces at once. Okay. And when you're looking at too many pieces and they're really close to you, and if you try this, like I know I'm putting up my hands, not to show you my nails, they are really gorgeous, but I'm putting up my hands. Put up your hands right in front of your face and see how easy it is to really see all your fingertips. They blend, they get double because of where they are in proximity. You can't really see the details in your hands, and they get a little blurry, and um, you don't have that ability to differentiate. Now, if you literally just start shifting your viewpoint and you move your hands away from you, right? You move the hands away from you, all of a sudden you can start seeing more of the things that you need to see. You can be in a more intelligent position. And you can also see that, oh, I have two hands. Oh, I have 5 fingers on this hand and 5 fingers on this hand. Oh, my hands are facing the same direction. Oh, my hands, one's facing this direction, one's facing the opposite direction. You can start seeing different types of details and looking at things from a very different perspective. And this is something I learned when I was going through my training in neurolinguistic programming. It was this idea of looking at things in minute details and from a higher level perspective. Now, sometimes when you're looking at things in those minute details, it is overwhelming. So, what we want to do is really start being willing to put a different hat on so you can look at your world through a whole new lens. And this is something that I've had to do in my world, and it's taken practice because we're not all wired in the same way. However, when you are willing to take a look at your picture, when you are willing to look at things from that different perspectives and start finding the common theme, then you are in a more empowered position. So typically, let's say when you're in a state of overwhelm, you might be forgetful, you might be dropping the balls more than usual. Things might be slow, you might feel really stuck, you might be moving a lot, right? You might be physically moving, but not getting anything done, right? If you feel like you've had those days where it's like, I've been moving, I've been on the go, but nothing's getting done. Your heart, your mind might be racing. You are in that pressure cooker. You can't see the forest through the trees. You're looking at that jigsaw puzzle right in front of you. So this is where you need to get back to basics. So I'm going to give you 6 things to really start doing, and 6 things that you can take action on right away. You can do all 6. They're simple, or you can pick one that resonates with you and start with that. Ultimately, when you really learn these 6 tools, it's going to be a game changer for you. So, step 1 is clean your space. Just clean your physical space, clean all aspects of your space, clean your mental space, your physical space, your spiritual space, your emotional and energetic space. And you want to get yourself organized. Thomas Troward said, order is heaven's first law. When you are in chaos physically, you can't find things. You're shuffling around. When your brain is really busy, you need to get things out of your head and onto paper. Do a brain dump. Get everything out of your head, put it on paper. You can't store you can store things here. This is an effective way to plan your projects, to plan your day. Every time when I have clients in overwhelm, we look at things, we get them out on paper, and all of a sudden they don't have to sit in your mental real estate. Your spiritual and energetic state. Maybe you have a lot of energy happening and you need to ground yourself. There's many different techniques we use to help clients ground. One is literally just going out and being in nature, being barefoot in the sand or in the grass. Difficult to do in the winter. However, you can go out and be in the presence of actual nature. Go out to a forest, go for a nature trail hike. You can get some manual therapy, and the physical touch of skin to skin is so incredibly powerful. There are things like sound baths. If physical touch isn't your thing, using sound therapies and chakra cleanses and other energetic modalities to cleanse your space. Now, if you're stuck in a repetitive loop, right? If you're in this state of overwhelm, go change your physical activity and then come back to what you need to do. Come back to what you need to clean up, because you don't want to try cleaning up while you're in a frantic state. Okay? Go to another room, do 10 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks. Go dance around for 5 minutes and then come back and do your cleanup once you've said, okay, I've decided I'm going to clean up and I'm going to get myself organized. You might need a little bit of a mental break, because when you do, you're going to come back more refreshed and more prepared to do that. So step 1, clean your space and get organized, and clean it in all different forms. And do the one that's most resonating to you. Step 2 is take responsibility without blame. So you are not responsible for everything that happens to you. There are forces in the world that are beyond your control. However, you are responsible for how you choose to react or respond to it. All you can control is yourself. All you can control is how you're going to show up, and you can't control what others are going to do. You can't control, you can't change the past. What's done is done. Your job is to say, okay, it happened. This is what happened. This is the current scenario. And you decide how you want it to be. No blame, no judgment. Just move on and decide, because all you can do is act in the present for what you would like your future to be. So act as though you're aspiring to get that future moment and act in the present. Okay. You can't dwell on the past. If the past is good, go remember it, go relive it for a few minutes. The parts that aren't good, let them go. We don't have time to dwell on the past. It's not going to help you. Third point, what is working and what is good? Okay, what actually is moving in the right direction? Now, what you focus on expands. If you're focused on this, that's what you're going to see. If you expand your vision of what's possible, you're going to start seeing a bigger picture. You're going to expand the possibilities of what could be. Now, all you literally have to do is say, what's working? Go write it down. Write it down. I'm a fan of writing things down, because if they're in your head, you make stuff up and then you talk back to yourself. Okay. It's hard to talk back to yourself when you're writing on paper. What is working? Write it down. Force yourself to answer the question. What's good in my life? What's good about this situation? What can I learn from it? Write it down. Not complicated stuff. However, I can guarantee that 9 out of 10 of you aren't going to do it. Those of you that will start changing your life dramatically. Now, what if you think about your day, right? One of the things we really look at is calibration with our clients. And we've done calls where we look at our state, our positive and our beautiful state versus our toxic states and the suffering states that we have. When you're in this anxious or suffering state, what percentage of your day do you spend in that state? Is it 30%, 50%, 80%, 95%? Chances are it's probably in the 70, 80, 90% range if you really do think about it. And when you're spending your time in that state, you're reinforcing it, you're strengthening that muscle. What if you literally just flipped it? And what if you decided to spend 2 times more time thinking about the outcomes you want and the future you want and the things that you actually want, and spend the time to design those things and work towards them over what you don't want? Like, what if you did it for 3 times, right? 3 times of the things, 3 times of your time spent on the good things for every 1 time that you spend on the suffering state and in the overwhelm and in the complaints department. What if you increased it 10 times, or even just all your time? Stop using the word overwhelmed, right? Instead of being overwhelmed, maybe you could shift your perception and realize that it's good that you have a lot on the go. You're high in demand and you're really lucky to have so many clients. Your children love you and they want your love and attention, and you're blessed to be able to actually give it to them. Right? Whatever is happening, find the blessings in them, find what is working, and keep reinforcing that, because you will start to attract more of that. Now, step number 4, play the what if game. Okay, play the what if game. And this is a fun game that I love to do. It's if you're in this state of overwhelm, just imagine if you weren't overwhelmed. What would you be doing or not doing that's different from what you're doing now? That's a really key question. And you need to create a solution for yourself. Like, imagine if. And you, by asking yourself a question, when you ask your unconscious mind a question, it has to answer it. So start asking yourself really good questions. Play the what if game. What if I wasn't overwhelmed? What would I be doing? What if I wasn't overwhelmed? What wouldn't I be doing? What if I wasn't overwhelmed? What would be different in my life? How would I be showing up differently? How would I be relating to other people differently? And play the what if game. Write it down. Again, not complicated. Write it down. Put it on paper so you can't talk back to yourself. Huge, huge, huge. Okay. Number 5, be willing to ask for help. Okay. Be willing to ask for help. Sometimes when we're in the state of overwhelm, we try to do everything ourselves. And this Vicious independence is poverty. This is something I learned from my mentor, Dr. Kim Redman. She uses the term vicious independence, and she is like, vicious independence is poverty. When you keep things to yourself, when you don't ask for your help, when you try to figure it all out yourself, instead of reaching out to people or to resources that you could have if you just opened your eyes to the possibility, then you're not going to escape that state that you're in, that state of overwhelm. People that ask for help, it doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. It actually means they do know what they're doing, and they realize others are more qualified to do certain things that than they are, right? I know there's a lot of people that are much more qualified to do certain things than I am, and I am glad to let them do things that they are passionate about and they are really good at, because it takes me 5, 10, 20 times longer to do things, and they don't make me happy. So you've got to really start learning what is your strength, what is your superpower, and be willing to ask for help. And sometimes that might look like asking for help finishing a project. Sometimes that might look like asking your kids to do the dishes because you're just tired and you need their help, and they live in the house too. It Little things, big things. Maybe it's stepping out of your comfort zone and asking one of your parent friends to drive your kids to an activity so you can have a night off. Often parents have this sense of pride, and it's like, I have to do everything for my children and they don't have time off. Well, what if you ask someone to help you and give you time off? Maybe you could drive their kids the next week. So start looking for creative solutions and be willing to ask for help to actually get what you need. Number 6 is change your viewpoint. Okay, so we talked about this right at the beginning. So if you're looking at everything from here, zoom out. Right? When you write it down on paper, you're not in your stuff. You can actually start to zoom out and look from further back. What if you were your boss, your manager, or someone at a higher level, one of the mentors that you respect or admire? What would they say, or what would they look at? What would they suggest in this state of with this problem that you've got? They would have a different viewpoint. So start looking from further out. Also, there's an idea of chunking. We don't have time to get into all of this, but if you chunk your information into categories, let's say you've got 50 things on your to-do list and they all have to happen this week. If you actually put those 50 things into the categories or buckets, this is house. This is kids and like driving kids to places. This is Christmas presents. This bucket is work projects to finish before the new year. This bucket is maybe my goal setting and my intentions for the upcoming year. So you're gonna just chunk it into the 3 to 5 key buckets that you have. This is my self-care that I really, really want and really, really need. Chunk all these things that you've got that you're looking at here, zoom out, and put them into categories. And when you put them in the buckets with the highest common denominators, you can start prioritizing and pick and choose which category you're going to focus on. Pick 1, 2, maybe 3. You can prioritize each category and decide what's actually most important. And you may realize that you don't need to do most of the stuff on those lists. There might be 1 or 2 things that can actually get you further ahead in this similar aspect. And it'll also save you time if you are, or let's say, running errands. If you do all the things in one area of the shopping mall instead of going back to the shopping mall 6 times, that's going to keep things more simple. So the more you can organize things and prioritize from there, the more you can keep things simple. So we have covered a lot today. Ultimately, it does boil down to you deciding that you want a rich and fulfilling life, and you're willing to go for it and you're willing to claim it. Is that what you want? Ask yourself, do I want a spectacular and beautiful life? Okay. I'm going to review these 6 steps because these are 6 steps that are crucial for you to follow in order for you to get that, to keep things more simple and keep things more orderly for you. So first is clean your space and get organized. So physical, mental, spiritual, all aspects of your life, clean your space. Step 2, point number 2, take responsibility without blame. So it's not about judgment. It's not about what you did or beating yourself up over things. All you can control is you right now. Start acting in the direction that you want, right? Act as though you are working towards your future right now and let the past go. My mentor, Bob Proctor, he said, let go and let God. Focus on the now, let the past go, and move on into your future. Focus on what is working, okay? What actually is good in your life, and put your attention on that. Spend 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, all of your time focusing on what's good, and you're going to get more in it. I promise it will work. 4 is play the what if game. So just imagine, what if I wasn't overwhelmed? What would be different? What would I be doing or not doing that's different from what I'm doing now? Number 5, be willing to ask for help. Again, vicious independence is poverty. Do not try to do it all yourself. Not a good idea. And point number 6 is change your viewpoint and really keep things simple. Zoom out, start looking at things from a higher level, and organize your information into buckets so you can prioritize in a simple way. Now, your job is to go and take action now, because Marie Forleo says insight without action is worthless. And it's so, so true. And I've given you some really simple steps. I didn't say they were going to be easy. Okay. I didn't say they were going to be easy. If you're not used to them, they might be a bit uncomfortable. They might be a bit different. However, pick one and start doing it, and fully, fully commit to yourself, because this is free. It can be done right away. And all you have to do is choose. And that really is what sets you up for success. This is why we do the work we do in the Abundance Accelerator program. We get together every single day to study, to reflect, to review, to refine, and apply the best of ourselves, set ourselves up each and every single day for a beautiful, beautiful day. If all you do is be willing to show up, you can't help but experience massive shifts. If all you do is be willing to try, be willing to doing these exercises, you will succeed. You will move ahead, and life will start to become absolutely beautiful. Now, if you are successful on many fronts and seem to have everything you want, except what you really want, and you want to elevate yourself to your most rich and fulfilling life, maybe you are in that state of overwhelm, but you're like, I want to go after my dreams. I've got some dreams. Maybe you see them. Maybe you can't see them because you're looking at things from here, and you're ready for help. You're ready to not do this all yourself. You want someone to hold your hand and say, okay, I've done this. I can see things. You can't read the label from inside the bottle. So you're looking for some outside perspective, and you're looking for a real true community to support you along the way. Then I'd love to invite you to book a call with my team and I, so we could recommend some best next steps for you. There is no one size solution that fits all. It might be one-on-one work, some of that deep, deep personal work. It might be connecting with a community of like-minded people and truly being held accountable to being your best self, or stepping into powerful trainings and learning tools for rapid transformation. Whatever it is, we can help you figure out what makes sense for you so that you can keep your future really simple and profound. So we're going to drop a link to book a call in the chats, and that way you can connect with us. We would absolutely love to speak with you and help you truly transform, evolve, and elevate your life. So I hope this has been helpful in terms of you stepping out of this world of overwhelm and into unstoppable confidence, authenticity, and empowerment. I will be back again tomorrow with another not tomorrow. Easy for her to say. I will be back again next week with another amazing topic, and I will see you guys again very, very soon.